honest. For years, anyone who wanted to issue assets on a blockchain went straight to Ethereum. Tokens, stablecoins, NFTs, the whole ecosystem lived there. Bitcoin was just the money layer, but something changed recently, and most people haven't noticed yet. Taproot Assets are here, running on Bitcoin and Lightning, and they might reshape how we think about what Bitcoin can do. Taproot Assets is a protocol built on top of Bitcoin's Taproot upgrade. It lets you issue fungible tokens, like stablecoins, directly on Bitcoin's blockchain. But here's the clever part. Those assets can then move onto the Lightning Network, inheriting Lightning's instant settlement and near-zero fees. You get the security of Bitcoin with the speed of Lightning. That combination did not exist before. How it works under the hood. When you issue a Taproot asset, the protocol embeds asset metadata inside a regular Bitcoin transaction using Taproot's script trees. To an outside observer, it looks like any other Bitcoin transaction. To a Taproot-aware client, it carries a stablecoin or token balance. No separate blockchain, no bridge, no wrap token that can get hacked. It lives on Bitcoin itself. This is where Lightning changes the game. Once a Taproot asset is issued on-chain, it can be deposited into a Lightning channel. From there, it routes through the Lightning Network just like Bitcoin does. Instant settlement, negligible fees, and the ability to make thousands of micropayments per second. Imagine sending a dollar stablecoin as fast as you'd zap someone on Nostr. Compare this to Ethereum's model. On Ethereum, every stablecoin transfer requires gas fees, sometimes dollars per transaction during congestion. Taproot assets on Lightning can settle for fractions of a cent, and instead of relying on a smart contract that could contain bugs, you're relying on Bitcoin's proven UTXO model and Lightning's hash time-locked contracts. That's a fundamentally different security profile. The first wave is already taking shape. Lightning Labs released Taproot assets on mainnet, and the early use cases are dollar stablecoins for Lightning native commerce, tokenized real-world assets for trading, and community tokens for creator economies. But the exciting stuff is what nobody has built yet. Programmable money on the most secure settlement layer on Earth opens doors we have not even imagined. Of things not everyone has heard of, there is another protocol called RGB that takes a different approach. Instead of embedding data on-chain, RGB keeps asset state entirely off-chain, using client-side validation and single-use seals anchored to Bitcoin UTXOs. It is more private, more scalable in theory, but also more complex. Both Taproot assets and RGB are competing to become Bitcoin's multi-asset standard, and we are watching that race in real time. Is the killer app that everyone is watching. A dollar stablecoin that settles over Lightning. Think about it. You could receive US dollar payments instantly from anywhere in the world with near zero fees. No bank, no third-party processor, just Bitcoin's network and Lightning's routing. For freelancers, remote workers, and businesses in countries with unstable currencies, this is not theoretical. Let me be direct about the elephant in the room. Regulators are still figuring out what to do with Bitcoin itself. Adding stablecoins and tokenized securities onto Bitcoin's rails raises questions about compliance, KYC, and securities law. The technology is permissionless. Anyone can issue an asset, but the real-world adoption will depend on how the legal framework develops. That tension will define the next few years. Those of us focused on accumulating Bitcoin, multi-asset capabilities matter more than you might think. Every dollar of stablecoin volume that flows through Bitcoin's Lightning Network generates routing fees paid in sats. Every new use case brings more users into the Lightning ecosystem. And every new user is a potential Bitcoin buyer and hodler. The multi-asset layer is not a distraction from stacking sats. It is an accelerant. Tools are still early. Wallets that support Taproot assets are limited. Liquidity is thin. The developer ecosystem is small, but growing fast. We are in the infrastructure phase, the equivalent of Bitcoin in 2013 or Lightning in 2019. The builders who are shipping today will be the incumbents when the asset layer matures. And Operation Stack Sats is watching all of it, looking for every angle to turn this infrastructure build-out into accumulated sats. Operation Stack Sats is building in public, tracking bounties, content packets, and revenue streams from the command center. Subscribe for weekly Bitcoin builder intelligence. Got a Lightning native stablecoin use case you want built? Reach out. We are always looking for the next sat stacking opportunity. Stack Sats. Stay curious.